Quick disclaimer, these are my personal opinions regarding the FFX of a Heavyweight Savage tier. I've been playing this game since the end of Stormblood, which means I have thousands of hours rating in this game at this point, so of course my opinions will be skewed. This isn't meant to be an attack, I'm simply going to look at the mechanics and compare them to previous floors. Specifically, I chose the Anabaseios tier because it was also the final tier of the Pandemonium raid series. I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so welcome back to the next video. We're going to compare M10S, the Extreme Brothers, to Pandemonium here. And I think this one's going to be tough because Pandemonium is, if I remember correctly, it was a pretty masterfully designed fight. But I also think that M10S is the best fight of the tier probably in terms of design and overall impact. So again, same format here. We're just going to walk through a couple minutes of this fight, and then we're going to go to the other fight. These are for my initial clears of the fights. So you know, my opinion's bias and whatever. They're day one strats, rough strats, whatever you want to call them. So you have this mechanic here in M10. This mechanic is kind of nothing, if I'm being honest, but it's sort of just an introduction, which I don't think is necessary considering it's basically in normal mode. Like, you cover a lot, but this is sort of like a nice introduction, I think, actually, because you cover like a lot of the arena here, and you're like, oh well, this is going to be important later probably. So of course we had the baits, and then we have the puddles, and then we have another stack puddle here, which leaves you with very limited space. You can bait these puddles quite tight though, but it doesn't really matter. It would only matter if he busted here, but he doesn't. So it's sort of just like a nice intro here to the fire guy. Then of course they swap out. And yeah, I mean, this is another thing that's kind of weird, is like, so he summons the wave and then he does the takeoff. It feels kind of bizarre that he doesn't do these at the same time. Another thing is here, you can already see the orbs. So you already see its light party orbs. And then when he goes there, they're still there. Like, couldn't they have just made it so that he summoned the wave at the same time and gone up? So he goes up to the wave, and then while he's on the wave, he shows which safe spot it is and what the mechanic is. I think that would have been better. It's just faster paced, it makes you think harder. So obviously we have alley-oop here, it can be double dip or reverse, whatever. This one's double dip, so we have to move because it's hitting the same spot twice. Then we have the knockback buster. How far are we in here? I'll watch about 3 minutes in, I guess, so we're almost 3 minutes in. But, I mean, if it had been like I suggested, I think it would be quite nice, but yeah, it's already kind of slow. And then of course, yeah, I'll just watch to the end of this, I guess. So I don't know, they do this thing, it's the exact same in normal, which feels strange to me. Like, this doesn't, I don't know why this is in the fight even. It's because it's literally nothing. We just take a bunch of damage. Like, it's just flashy for fun, I guess. Okay, and then I'll pause before the first double mechanic here. Okay, so that's about 3 minutes in. So what does this guy do 3 minutes in? We have our usual raid wide opener. Then the Enum buster, he just says, I'm going to be doing these types of busters. We have the first mechanic here. So this is like supposedly the equivalent of the fire guys, which is like these wings come out, they're going to shoot you, and then we have to do these quote Enum stacks, but you also have to spread in the stack. This is a very unique mechanic. And then he shows holy. This means it's out. I don't remember what the other cast is, but it could be in. And then he does these tank buster towers, which are also knockbacks, similar to the fire guys, but these guys have to get knocked to their sides specifically, so you have to angle yourself correctly. I mean, you have to do it in the other fight, but it's not as important because we then have to make bridges to the side here. I believe it's a 1 DPS, 1 healer, and both tanks get it. And then we have this pillar mechanic, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you can already see how good this fight is in comparison. Like, these guys have so much variation. Like, let me just go back a couple seconds here. So we have these towers, they are static, but then these guys always shoot in the back towards each other. But we also have circles, which means in. It could be holy, which means out. And then we have two variations here. We have this variation, which is a chariot on the right, and this variation, which is a dynamo on the left. And if you don't get in, you get doom. Yeah, I mean, if you compare it to the wave mechanic, things are not looking good. Like, this is already way faster. We have to spread here. We can't even touch these pillars because you'll get webbed. I don't remember exactly what the punish is, but, you know, you don't want to do it. So we have to do quite a wide spread there. And then we have this random mechanic he does where we have a stack and two players cannot be in the stack. How far in are we? This is 2 minutes. This is 2 minutes in. A little over 2 minutes in. So we have a little bit more. Okay, then we have a touchdown. Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize he did this at the same time as what? Ah, so he did this before the stack. Demonic Bonds comes out. It shows our pairs enum for later. This is spread first. Yeah, spread first. So then he does this, and then we have to go to our platforms and do the spreads or pairs. And we have to go to the platforms because he's doing a big chariot in the middle, as you can see. Boom. Then we do pairs. Could have been the other order. And then another raid wide. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll pause before the next mechanic because we're about 3 minutes in here as well now. Yeah, we're 3 minutes in here now. So he's showing Demonic Bonds again, which is starting up the next mechanic. So let's go back. This mechanic does not have a precast. They're just going to move around and show on the surfboard what the mechanic is. So the light is down, which means it's Proteans, 4 Proteans on the closest. This one is a cone stack. We face it out, of course. The other thing that's weird about this fight is, like, if you're on Fire Guy, your roll matters a lot more because you leave afterburners and the other guy does not. Last thing, there was a Buster on our side. These guys have to not shoot us with the Kono. I think I'm going to watch another 3 minutes here. So when I'm at 9:35, basically, that's 6 minutes in. 2 more minutes. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's fine. Alright, I skipped over something there, but basically they do this, and this is indicating either the 4 closest or 4 farthest will have to do the boss's mechanics. So we're all under. This time we have to do the fire guys, but we could have all been in our light party, done the other guys. So they do this, and then we spread along the wall. See why later. The other guys had the alley-oop. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. This phase is good. Okay, then he has a Buster. The water guy's saying, I'm doing a conal, and then the water guys have to spread. These guys always have to spread. And also these things erupt because of the water. And then he also does this mechanic right after. So he does hot aerial, which means he's jumping to the furthest fire player. And this guy is showing the water players either spread or light parties or whatever. And then that goes off and the water players have to do their mechanic after that knockback. And then we bait into a safe spot. This is obviously extremely messy. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. This again is like, it shows it's Dawn Trail. Like, we are still going to kill the boss here.
So you're watching.
Which is not good. Am I 6 minutes? I'll watch until the end of this mechanic, I suppose. Watery Grave. So, Watery Grave, that is not a tank tower. You can put anyone in there. And this is probably the strangest mechanic in the fight, because what is the point of putting 2 players in there to just do nothing? Why didn't they just make it so that you all have to do this thing? Like they're doing some spirit bomb attack where you have to just kill this thing. Like, what is the point of putting players in there and just doing nothing? It just feels very strange. Obviously, these guys are just going back and forth, which is our strat. You have to hit the grave with the fire guy and not the water guy. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand the point of putting two guys in the grave to do nothing. It's very strange. What is the point? Because generally when you do this, those players will die. But if we don't kill the grave, we all die. So what is the point? It's just very strange. It's very strange. Okay, so that's the end of that mechanic. Let's see what happens another 3 minutes here. So we have Demonic Bonds starting, and then we have the towers. It's going to show some lasers. We do like right-left groups. It's kind of a limit cut-esque mechanic, but the person in front gets a debuff. They cannot be in the next stack. So we have less and less players in the stack. Tanks take last because they're tanks. And then Demonic Bonds resolves, spreads, or pairs into spreads, and then he does this conal thing. And we have to dodge these. This is kind of a nothing mechanic, to be fair. But that mechanic was nice. I think I give that phase to the brothers, actually. That was a nice phase they had, for sure. So I'm going to 55-30 here. Okay, so he's doing Wicked Step again, knocking back the tanks. So it's showing that we're going to have another mechanic where you have to use the sides for. Doing the setup because we have to. And then this is a repeat. Okay. I mean, I'm feeling good about Red Hot right now, actually. But then we have this mechanic again, which is pretty complex, but it is a repeat. Remember, it is a repeat. So we have circles plus the towers dodges. And then Ray. Oh, and then we have to do the Demonic Bonds here. We just did light parties into spreads. Ooh, that is a nice mechanic, though. That is a nice mechanic. Yeah, I definitely need to slow it down. Okay, so then we have... What is this? What's the cast here? Steel Web. So Steel Web spawns the guys on the side. It's showing we have to do Proteans, where you're forced to do your Protean. And then we did supports and DPS split. So they have to do the spread, and then these guys have to clear the webs. A nice little mechanic. And we're at about the same time now. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was a nice phase from the fire guys, I think, actually. That was a nice phase from these guys. Good job. Yeah, these guys are close. These guys are actually close. These are closer than I thought. Like, obviously, Pandemonium is still a very good fight. Okay, now we have this phase, which is, I guess, sort of equivalent to Harrowing Hell. And this phase is very strange. So we have Alley-Oop Inferno, and then he's going to do Alley-Oop. The water guy, double dip. So we dodge. Let me do this. It's time to slow down, yeah. So I'm gonna slow down for the next fights. So he showed something. We have to dodge sides and then come back together for light parties. And that's it. Okay. The only thing I have to say about this mechanic is this alley-oop feels very... like, I want to use the word unfinished again. It just feels very strange. But that could be a day one opinion. It just feels very strange, you know? Like... The mechanic is, like, significantly harder for people in this half of the arena for seemingly no reason. It's just strange, but I think yeah, nice mechanics overall. Yeah, nice mechanics overall. And that was better pace on the wave too, because you're doing other things and then he goes to the wave like pretty quickly. So that's some nice pace. Yeah, when I go to 11, I'm going to just play them in normal speeds, because now the fights are picking up in speed for sure. I think I'm just going to watch till the end here, because these guys don't do too much more. We have this fire snaking again. Basically, we just go to the same color. He's doing these mechanics again, but you have to swap a certain role in an order to resolve their debuffs. So that we don't explode all of these debuffs at the same time at the end, or else we'll die. So we did healers, melee, then ranged at the end. So it's a buster. The tanks have to swap on the buster. But outside of that, we did healers, melees, ranged. So now the melees are swapping. It's Proteans again. And then last, the range swap. And we get a Conal here, and then we're going to have to dodge because this Conal's hitting the fire. Boom, it exploded there. This phase is okay. I mean, it's not great. Like, I think the other two mechanics were better. They were also a better pace, but this is like a nice flex mechanic, I suppose. Don't think there's too much. Yeah, there's nothing left here. He just does this double dip. So we rotate and then do the fire guys, puddles, boom. And then there's a stack. And that's the end of the fight. But I know there's not much left in Pandemonium either. Yeah, and then it's Enrage here. Yeah, so they just do raid rides and then Enrage here, so that's the end of that fight. So we had what? Yeah, so we did this again at Meltdown, and then this, and then I think we're going into Harrowing Hell, which is the big mechanic of this fight. So we just do our lineup here just to see clearly what we get. See, I'm tethered, so I have to do this mechanic. Those guys are doing a stack, and then there's some spreads in the back. Yeah, this is quite a good mechanic, though. So then we also have to reinforce the back. That's why the spreads were back there. It definitely feels like a more complete mechanic than the split phase in Fire Guys, but it's not terrible for sure. It's not terrible. It's quite nice, actually, I think. I think I'm okay with it. It's fine. So Harrowing Hell resolves. Remember, we had Demonic Bonds from a long time ago, so we have light parties, or a roll split here. I think it can be light parties as well, if I'm not sure, actually. I could be wrong about that. Let's assume it can only be rolls. So we had light party rolls there, and then spreads. I know there's a variation for sure with pairs or something, but yeah, Harrowing Hell is quite a complex mechanic. It feels more complete than the Fire Guys mechanic. They kind of just did their Protean things. But it's not terrible. Like, the Fire Guys were not... The extremes were not terrible, for sure. I keep calling them Fire Guys for some reason. I don't think there's anything left here. I think there's just sort of a normal mode mechanic. So it's sort of the same, actually. Harrowing Hell resolves, and then we just have, like, a victory lap. That's pretty common, though. Yeah, so let me do this. I think I will skip a couple seconds. Then what? Maybe we do towers again? No, we just do this normal mode mechanic. And then what? He does the ray, so we have to check the ray and be on the safe side. There's no demonic bonds here, it's just dodge. And then there was a circles, so we were in. And then we have these spreads again. I think this is the end of the fight. I mean, I don't think there's anything left. So it's just a victory lap. They sort of both follow the same formula. We had the Harrowing Hell at the same time as, what was it? The split phase in Fire Guys. I don't have too many complaints about this fight, though. Like, this fight seems pretty good to me. This is a good fight. But again, like I said at the beginning, I think this is the best fight of the tier in design-wise. This phase feels a little janky with the way Alley-Oop resolves, but it's fine, I think. I think the speed makes up for it, so... They're pretty equivalent, I think. I mean... I like the design of these brothers a lot. It could be better for sure. It could be faster in some parts for sure. The opening of Pandemonium is probably better, but overall, they're pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be harsh on this fight because I think it's quite good, actually. I think it's quite good. It's probably the best fight of the expansion, in my opinion. I'm not going to hard set that in stone, but it's a good fight for sure. It has a nice pace, some slow paces. The opening of Pandemonium is better. Pandemonium does a lot of like, here's your demonic bonds. Now I'm going to do another mech. Now resolve your bonds, which is really a nice touch. But these guys have the caveat of sometimes you do the fire guys mechanic, sometimes you do the water guys mechanic, which is like fine. You know, I'll take that trade off. So yeah, I think both fights are good actually. Yeah, both fights are good. I'm not upset about this fight at all. Let's wrap it up there. So yeah, extremes are good. M10 was good. P10 is also good. Equivalent. Nothing, no complaints here. So yeah, again, I'm going to do the next fight, and I'm going to watch it at normal speed because things are picking up here. Next up is 11. Look forward to that. Again, I'm going to do the video on progression tips and things like that, so check that out if you're enjoying these. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.